Hi, welcome to Mango Tango Music. I'm Abby. With me today, we've got Olivia, Christy, Mel, and Izzy. And we're lucky enough to have Tanya Gleeson, who is a full-time legend, the event coordinator at Festival Hall, and also a freelancer who works on things such as the Riverboat Festival. She works with Melbourne City and Download Fest. So, hi Tanya, how are you going?
Hello, I'm good. How is everybody? Welcome to my bedroom.
Can you just give us a little bit of like a description about what your role is within the industry and what kind of responsibilities you have?
So my full-time role at Festival Hall, basically, I guess to sum it up really in short language, is we see the event from the first inquiry up until settlement after the show. So that includes like the contract, doing the pencils, a quote if need be. We also have a staff pool of about 150, so we do the rostering for the show as well. Basically the whole venue operations to make a gig work. Yeah, a gig happen.
So I was just wondering, how do you manage the events at the hall and decide what's worth taking on and what's worth just being like, nah, you can go find another venue?
Lucky enough, there hasn't been a lot of like, no, we won't take that on unless some people inquire, for example, like, looking for a hall for my 80th birthday, can I book it? And we're like, no. But yeah, most people know what Festival Hall is because it's just been there for so long. So we don't really get that many inquiries that are ridiculous, and when we do, it's quite funny. Yeah, sure, have your 80th here, like, no worries.
What would you say is like the most challenging aspect of your job in the industry, and like especially as an event coordinator?
The most challenging thing, I think the most challenging thing for me is different from when I started to now. So when I started, I guess I really had to learn how to deal under, like, work under pressure and also multitask and put the priority thing first. Now, obviously pre-COVID, probably, yeah, I don't think it ever kind of changes, like, because every day is so different. So every day is like a new challenge.
I think we spoke the other day a little bit about like sexism in the industry as well, and like that kind of aspect of the hardships. Would you say that's still like a bit of a prevalent thing that's happening in the industry that needs to kind of be addressed?
Like, this is a really good, a really important thing to address. I don't even know if it's like, I just think it's it's an important thing to talk about. I'm not afraid to talk about it. Some people might be, I don't know if that's a thing. But I definitely, there's just more and more stuff that keeps coming out. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following like a lot of stuff that come out about bands and stuff like that, about being inappropriate. And I've been following it a lot on Twitter, all around the world, about people using their position of power to, I guess, manipulate or gaslight people or kind of lure them in to kind of, to kind of get what they want. And if there's anyone watching, and there's also you guys, like, it's okay if you feel uncomfortable to say no. You do not have to do anything you do not want to do. Even if it comes to people, I guess, manipulating you, not necessarily for anything sexual, but for like just doing a job for them or in the workplace, like, you have every right as a human being to say no. I think it's important, and you guys can be the change.
Very prevalent in the industry, even though like we aren't explicitly exposed to it, still like impacting people. So I still definitely think it is like something that does need to be addressed.
What would you say would be the most like rewarding aspect of your job in like this industry?
The most rewarding thing is I find my job really fun. I find it super fun, and I'm someone who loves to see the start, the middle, and the end. So to me, I find really great satisfaction in that. The most rewarding thing, I think, that now that I am employed full time, the most rewarding thing for me is that I did it. Like, and I made it to a position where I wanted to be, through a lot of times where I didn't think I ever would, or I was really disheartened by other people. But yeah, I think for me that's the biggest reward, that I can still be here, and like talk to you guys, and to hopefully make a difference, like in the industry in the future. Definitely.
Speaking of fun things, Festival Hall's definitely been a venue for a lot of fun concerts and events. So, how does it feel working in such like an iconic venue in Melbourne? Is it something that you've always thought like something you could see yourself doing, or?
Never, ever, ever in a million years thought I would work there. Like, my first concert was there in like 2006, and I never, ever thought that would be where I would end up. Which leads me to also something else. Like, I think it's important to, because some people are like, yeah, I definitely want to do this, but you can try out something else and you can love it just as much. So when I kind of fell into it, I kind of realized that I actually really loved it, and I really loved, I guess, what it could offer me. It's cool. The venue is really kind of eerie when there's no one in there, but it's cool. Like, I remember the first time I went in there when there was no one, I was like, what the hell? This is so weird.
Going on that, how did you like get to the stage where you are? Like, how did you start in the industry and grow to where you are today?
Love this question. So I remember the moment I wanted to be in the industry. I was at a Soundwave in 2009, and I didn't know like that was like a career job. Like, I don't know how I thought festivals got there. They just like grew from the ground or something. And then I was like, you know what, I could do that. So I transferred my subjects in year 12 to do music, in year 11 to do music. And then I did the Freezer program as well. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Freezer. I did that for so long, and I learned so much from that. And then from Freezer, I got involved in the Push. Like, I did the Push mentor program. I did a few internships. I did an intern at a smaller venue. So that's where I kind of got the gist, where I was like, oh, cool. Like, I could do this. And then I just networked a lot. Like, I think that's really, really important. All the jobs I've gotten has been through somebody else. So people have recommended me, or they've been like, oh, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah. And then when I was also in the Push, I started working at Moomba, which is super fun. And I worked at Moomba up until a few years ago. And then from Moomba, that's how I got the City of Melbourne stuff. I also volunteered at Soundwave. I did a lot of working for free, like probably too much, like probably a lot. There was a lot of times that I did it, but it was still fun. And then I met people through there who then got me other opportunities and stuff like that. And then I worked in a ticketing company. And then from there, then I came to work at Festival Hall. But the thing that's helped me the most is just networking and talking to people. A lot of people will tell you to say yes to everything. That's great, but I think there's a point where you need to stop saying yes to everything that's for free, and then know your worth and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Kind of on that, how would you like, where is that middle point of being able to say no?
It's a really, really great question. It's something I struggled with for a long time, because I was still working for free while I was getting paid work as well. But I saw it as, what if I'm there and then I can meet someone who can help me? Or what if I'm there and then, that could give me my opportunity? But then I kind of was like, I can't learn anymore. like I can't learn anymore from working for free. Like I guess it's kind of like an exchange for an experience. And I think when you're no longer learning, and it also comes with self-worth as well, like you also got to know your worth as well.
Yeah, you mentioned like it's really important to like network and like build up your skills.
Yeah.
What other like skills and knowledge do you need to be able to like do your job well and successfully to hold an event?
Attention to detail. You need to read, and I have definitely made mistakes when I haven't read stuff properly, and then I have really learned from that. So, and also communication is super important. You need to communicate with the hirer, you need to communicate with people in your team as well, or else it can be quite catastrophic. It's fixable, but like it's just like another headache that you just don't need. I guess I can't really put an exact, because you might be like fantastic at rostering, for example, and I suck. Like I am terrible at that. Like, and that's okay. Like you don't have to be like 10 out of 10 at everything, because we're human and it's just not possible. I've made plenty mistakes, and I've just learned from them.
You've given us some good gems already, but do you have any other advice that you could give specifically to students who are passionate about becoming an event coordinator?
I was hoping you asked this question, because there's a lot of things I would have told myself back then, like things like, I wish I knew that now. One thing is, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. So someone in this group might get a job tomorrow, someone might get a job in 2 years. It doesn't mean you're crap. It doesn't mean anything at all. Everyone's journey is completely different. So my journey is different too. Like I wasn't doing this when I was your age. Like I wasn't doing this stuff. Like you're way more advanced than I am when I was like at your age. Like I was just kind of a pleb. I still am. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend your journey to anyone else's. Another thing is, I wouldn't let one person deter you from staying in the industry. From being dead honest, there are people who probably won't be willing to help you. That's just the brutal truth. I've come across it, and that's fine. It's not a reflection on you, it's a reflection on them. And I think standing up for what is right is important. There was a few times I didn't do it, and I look back and I regret it. I regret it a lot. Oh, and also take a holiday. Like, take a holiday.
Tips on dealing with stress, especially because your job is very stressful. Like how
Laughter. I think I was really lucky that I worked with people who we kind of saw a lot of the light in things. Like sometimes it was like, obviously the situations that aren't great, but I think we just dealt as a team how to just be like, oh yeah, we'll fix it. And having a good team is really important. But you learn how to do it, so you kind of learn what works for you. But I always have the mentality like it'll work out. So you just gotta not think about it and just be like, yep, I will figure this out.
Advice I have like ever heard about like not comparing yourself to other people's pathways, because I feel like I don't consciously do it a lot.
It's not easy. I still do it. Like it's so ingrained in my brain that sometimes I still do it. Like, but I've learned to just you just got to be happy for people. Like sometimes they meet someone at the right choice. Like it's like, I don't know, someone might compare their journey to mine. Like, and it's not worth beating yourself up about it, and it's not worth deterring you from keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. On a bit of a sadder note, a bit of a different note, Corona it's had a bit of a hit with the industry. Are you doing okay? How have you been staying positive?
That's a great question. I'll be honest with you. So the first 2 months I was in denial. I was like, oh, like no worries, like fuck, I get to sleep in, like awesome, working from home, cool. I get to go for walks every day. And then the middle 2 months, I was not okay, and I really grieved. I really grieved for my job, and my career. It sounds like so morbid, but I literally flipped over and I was like, oh wow, I actually might have to find a new career. Like I actually might have to do something else. And I was like, how am I going to do that? And then I was in bed for a lot of the time. Like that's just the honesty, and I know a lot of people struggled with it as well. I used to be a huge chain smoker, but I'm not anymore, which is fantastic.
Congratulations.
So that's I ate a lot of food, but I have a really good network of people around me, like my friends and other people who work in the industry as well. Like I think it's a really important conversation to have, how you're genuinely feeling. Like if I was like, oh wow, I've been doing so great, that's a total fucking lie. Yeah, I was devastated, because I'm someone who my life really evolved around my job, and my identity, if that makes sense. And so I kind of had to learn how to not be so much my job and just be me and present in this time. And then the last few months I've been pretty good. I've started like learning the bass, and I've started like doing other stuff that I probably never would have done if I didn't have this time, and if I didn't speak to people. And because really right now the world is your oyster. Like you could do, there's like, I've thought about stuff I never would have thought about. So I'm trying to turn it into a positive and to be more creative, and to expand my mind outside of what my job was. But yeah, no, I found it really hard. I found it really like harder than I thought I would find it. But yeah, as I said before, with like dealing with stress, you just gotta laugh about it, and then you just gotta make it happen when it's time. And so and it also does come down to like self-worth. Like this time is very deterring on your career, but don't let it be. Like don't let it be deterring, because things will work out eventually. It may not be as soon as we like it to be, but I'm very hopeful that it will, and that's what I'm holding on to. So it's going to happen. Manifest.
Going on from that though, like if you are having a tough time, then like I would definitely, if anybody's like watching this and going through a tough time, I would 100% suggest to reach out to somebody, reach out to a friend, reach out to like anybody, because I think it is a very tough time, and it is a very kind of lonely time as well for some people.
Yeah, but I definitely suggest talking to people. It's definitely helped me, and it's definitely, that's what's kept hope for me as well, is talking to other people, which I'm really grateful for. So, and this as well, like this is so nice. Like when I got your message, I was like, oh wow, someone wants to talk to me. Like what the hell? So yeah, that was super nice, and that made me really happy. So thank you. I don't know, like it's just still like I never would have. I remember being doing like the push program, being like, wow, I can't wait. I really hope I'm someone who can talk to someone someday and be a good influence to people, and let people know that you don't have to be an arsehole to, like, sure at times like being an arsehole, but like you can there's no harm in giving other people your like what you know, and helping them. So I don't know where the time went, but here I am.
Since your time in working in venues and specifically Festival Hall, have you seen a sort of shift in the types of events that are put on?
Yes. For me, because I am into more heavier music, more kind of like punk music and stuff, and I can't recall. There's been a few heavy shows, but there's never been an act where I've been like, fuck yeah, like I'm so wrapped for this. Like I think there's so much K-pop now, which is great. Like at the start I was like, I don't get this. And then I was like, oh wow, cool. Like people love, like those fans are so loyal. Like K-pop fan, that's a loyal fan base. If I was talented, I would do K-pop. But yeah, like even with like if you scroll through TikTok, it's kind of the same kind of stuff. And you know, we lost like our heavy Soundwave, which was a huge heavy festival, but and we got like Unify and stuff like that, and Good Things, which has been the last few years. But yeah, I think maybe I notice it more. What do you guys think? I don't really think I have the answer to this question. I think everyone's opinion is totally different on this, but what do you guys think about the shift in tunes?
I think it's very like versatile. Like depending on who you are is depending on who you go to Festival Hall to see.
Yeah, I've been to lots of different shows at Festival Hall. Like I've seen heavy bands, like I saw In Heart's Wake and A Day to Remember there, but then I've also seen the 1975 and Five Sauce as well. So like I just love that venue. I've seen so many different types of shows there.
It is I think we just have whatever's popular at the time, because we're a big enough venue to have that. And like we can change modes and stuff like that. Well, I guess music is always like changing, like, you know, like the Beatles played there, the Clash played there, all like rock and roll played there. And then I guess, you know, you go to the next era, which is like the kind of like Bewitched played there and like Banger Boys, and then that kind of era. And then, you know, like the Ed Sheeran era as well, and like Lorde played there too. So I think the whole, it's just with the times. Like
the Hall has a lot of good memories for a lot of people, because it's definitely somewhere you go and you're just like, this is cool.
Some fantastic times, and I've also you guys will do it too, but as soon as someone told me this, I've never stopped doing it, is to look at everyone's face when the lights come on, and it's just complete happiness. Like it's just a complete good time. After a festival, you see everyone's faces and they're like, fuck yeah, like this is like euphoric. And when the lights come on, you just see how happy everyone is, and which is why like we are such an important industry, I feel, because I've seen people online be like, it's such a luxury industry. I'm like, yeah, but think of all the happiness that it brings you. Like it brings you so much happiness. Like it brings me lots of happiness. Like it still does. That feeling never changes. But yeah, look at everyone's faces when the lights come on. It's really it's really cool.
Thank you so much for being here. You're a legend, and I still stand by the fact that you're a legend, because you are. So thank you for taking your time to be a part of the interview. It's
Anytime.
so nice talking to you. And
anytime. So good talking to you.